Now, if I take fasting a step further, Jesus talked about it in Matthew chapter 6. And he let them know, when you fast, don't be like the hypocrites. The word hypocrite means somebody had two faces. They'd have their face painted up on one side, and it might be a big old smile. This day is great. And then on this side, they might have their face painted to where they're emphasizing something else that's negative. The hypocrite meant they had two faces. He says, when you fast, don't be like the hypocrites. They disfigure their face. They walking around acting like they got a relationship with God, but they're looking like that or something. I remember a story of that was told to me, and I believe it was my mother, when she was talking about how some people have a distorted view of holiness. Holiness has to do with living right. Holiness has to do with being right. That holiness has to do with your walk with God, your relationship with God. It does also have to do with how you carry yourself outwardly as well as inwardly, because you're set aside for God's service. So there's some things that you don't even do outwardly to yourself if you're holy. But there's some people that have, like the hypocrites, a distorted view of holiness and sanctity. And my mom, I believe it was sharing with me how one grandmother, she was so holy. She walked around looking like this. It said that one day they was coming home from church and her little grandson seen a mule right at the fence. And the mule was looking like this. And he said, "Ooh, look, Grandma, the mule was saved. It is holy." Because they thought holiness was walking around looking mean and looking like you got something stuck in your ear. Holy, you should be able to be happy. And even when you're fasting, he tells them in Matthew 6, don't appear like you're fasting. Don't appear like you didn't have a meal. Appear like you got it going on. And he says, wash your face. Anoint your head when you fast so nobody can look at you and see that you've been fasting. It shouldn't affect how you deal with folks when you have to deal with them when you fast, because you do it unto God, just like your alms and just like your prayer in Matthew 6. Fasting is the same way. One of the biggest problems in fasting, and I'm going to point this out, and it's in Zechariah chapter 7, other scriptures, Isaiah 58. One of the issues in fasting that people have is that they usually always fast for themselves. And they fast because they want something from God, but it's for them. But when you fast, oftentimes the fast in the Bible was a me fast for thee. Or it was a me fast for ye. My fasting was because I wanted God to do something for you or for y'all. Like I mentioned about Mother Boyd, she used to fast every holiday, and she would never tell me why that she wouldn't come over for dinner on the holidays. But I get it now, because the Bible says when you fast, you don't share that with somebody else. Just like when you give in an offering, you don't even let the left hand know what you're giving. And so even if somebody calls a $100 line or a $500 line, you're not going to be blessed the way God would bless you if you didn't stand up but still gave the offering. When you fast, don't make it just about you. Read Zechariah chapter 7, and you'll find out why for 70 years of fasting that God refused to respond to their fast. It was all because the fasts were about them. Our focus cannot be just on us. We have to prefer our brothers and sisters above us. Fasting, man, is a great tool in our spiritual toolbox and will build our relationship with God. There's so much that you're going to learn in fasting, and maybe I'll address some more